It's been one heck of a week, a good week overall. Um, I'm trying to get here on Fridays. I would like to have this thing out the door early in the day. Like, if I have it out by noon, then I get to play the rest of the day. But in fact, today, I needed to go to the woods before I did anything else. So instead of sitting down and trying to focus on this newsletter, I went on a good walk in the woods. So that was good. It's been quite a week. Oh, and I'm like, should I apologize for my hair or just accept the fact that it's still winter season in Hat Head? I went to the woods, I came home, I started working, I just took off my hat, and I swear, if I actually focus on that part, looking professional, professional on camera for the world. Like, if I let that be the primary thing that I'm doing, then I'm never going to get this stuff out the gate. I just won't. So, and that's why I completely understand for anybody who's like, I don't know how to do all this social media and drum up business using these social media systems when it seems like people are just like, I'm looking at the time. I haven't really used Substack that much, so I don't know what the parameters are here. And to get back to this, it's like, I get it how trying to do all the things you're supposed to do in social media is exhausting, and it's like, I'm not even gonna bother starting. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna start right where I'm at, because I think that that ultimately is the truth. We have to kind of start right where we're at, right where we stand, which for me in this moment is Hot Springs, Montana. And I have tried like the global thing, um, posting regularly on social media, and this was a different era, right? But I was consistent, and it never caught fire for a whole who knows what reasons. Could have just simply been the algorithm, the timing in the universe, the my perspective on things, that I wrote too much and went too long and on my videos and all the things. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I know what when you try to do something like that and it seems like it's easy for other people, and then you're like, it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I can't make it work. And eventually you go, maybe I just need to like come like focus it in to right where I'm at and right where I stand in this moment in time. So for me, it's a tiny little town on an Indian reservation in western Montana. And this week we foregoed I don't even know what the right word is. We failed to submit a grant that was a well put together grant, um, and it failed to get out the door at the last second. And it was, what's the word, disappointing. And I sort of felt like it was the group of people, the board, the group of people, it almost felt a little like hazing. And I'm sure that their points of view were legitimate. But the thing about not applying for a grant, especially when you have something written and it's pretty well written, like you can't really poke too many holes in it. And even if you can, just for the experience of being successful in writing and then submitting a grant, just that right there, to actually submit a grant successfully, to push the button and say it's good enough, it's good enough, I'm going to send it out the door, and now it's up to the universe to align things if this is what's supposed to happen. I did my part. And then it just couldn't, for whatever reasons, which I might find out later. I mean, I wrote the grant and I identified the Chamber of Commerce first that it could work for the Chamber of Commerce, but they literally sent me a note back and said, we've got too much other stuff on the plate and we cannot think about this right now. Fair enough. Totally understand. They would have had time because they had the chamber meeting was the day before the grant was due. And so they could have said, yeah, hit the send button. I could have actually gone to the chamber and said, I'm having a hard time with this other organization. I already wrote the grant. All I need to do is take whoever is responsible for the chamber to say, yes, we'll receive the money and we will dole out the money when it comes in if we win this grant. If the operative word here is if we win the grant, but it's like we didn't even get it submitted. And that was two organizations in our town, two organizations, the chamber being one of them. And I did the work writing the grant. We could have won $5,000 to $15,000 for a grant that was written about storytelling using AI and digital, like digital readiness and AI literacy was basically what I was doing the grant for. And yes, I did brand it for my brand because I was the one who was going to produce the program, which had a couple of parts. It's like, and the organization that bailed at the last second, they decided that, like, I still am not very clear on the reasons why that they were worried. It had something to do with whether or not a nonprofit can pay an outside source to produce a program for their under the umbrella of their organization. And the thing about it is, that's just a readiness question. And what we learned out of all of this is they weren't ready to say yes to an opportunity that walked through their door in a moment's notice and like could have made their lives better. And a member of their community's life better. And it kind of slays me. I used the word flabbergasted. I was like, I'm dismayed. I'm flabbergasted. You're saying like disappointed. No, I'm actually dismayed. I'm flabbergasted that two organizations that could have benefited from, they weren't agile. The word is agile. And the thing is, even though the chamber, I just kept pivoting, right? And I've been doing this for months. Something doesn't work out, I pivot that idea and bring it to somebody else. And here's the funny part. That organization were badly courting me to become a volunteer for their organization. And they were looking for somebody to fill the secretary position. And it's like, I can't do that now. I can't even consider you guys to volunteer or be, especially not volunteer for a hard job like being the secretary. Like being a secretary is a serious like role in any organization, and I can't even conceive of wanting to do that with you now. And it wasn't a like, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch your thing. It was like, look, they said, if you want to volunteer for us, write a grant. I found a grant. And it really, truly would have worked for a bunch of different organizations. Now, let me tell you what the kind of conclusion, here's the next pivot, right? So as soon as I knew that that wasn't going to work for them, and they took it right up to the last second. I mean, even if I would have had, if I would have been courting 3 organizations, and I said, or 5, and I said, whoever gets it in, whoever signs off on this first. Honestly, that's the way to do this. Say, I can do this for whatever organization, and so we have to wait a year to apply for that grant again. That's lame. Could we and they could have won the grant. That organization could have won the grant, and then boom, baby, you have a national organization, AARP, you won a grant with them. And that makes it easier to win other grants, because especially when the program goes well, which I would have made it to done everything in my power to help that succeed, because it wasn't just them, it was tied to my business too. And here's the thing, I just said the thing that was the worry. It felt like it was tied to my business, right? But people bring in other organizations all the time. And it's actually happening this weekend, because I think, oh, it's the Artist Society. The Town Artist Society is bringing a nationally renowned um, music, or not music, a theater company, a nationally renowned theater company based out of Montana, so it's local, right? And they bring that group to town, and then the kids participate in it, and then they produce a theater show in like 1 week. So that theater company comes to our town, and they're producing Hercules this week, which is so exciting, right? And and they splash all over their marketing. They're connecting, tying the Artist Society with the nationally known theater company. So that's normal. And then if it was sponsored by other people, they would put the sponsors on there too, because everybody wants to be tied to the biggest winner. And the biggest winner in this case is the National Theater Company. And then locally, it's the local artist society. And then all the other, that's like a piggyback marketing. I don't even know what the name of that is, but everybody wants to be a winner. So I sent out an email after all of this, and I said, we all want to be winners. What we want, I want you to be a winner to this organization and their board. I said, I want you to be a winner, and I want me to be a winner, and I want all of us to be a winner. I want the whole community to be a winner, which is why I was wanting to find a place to share digital readiness, AI literacy, and storytelling. Literally, people's stories. This is not about business, although business owners can come and tell their stories. That's great. That's perfect. And regular anybody who has a story about being in this town. And my aim with it is like wisdom, because I think our young people really need that uh, connection to tenacity and perseverance. And if you've lived as long as any of us have lived in this town, which is 50 plus, perfect for AARP grant, right? It's maddening, mad making, and it's silliness. And I was super bummed out about it. So there was that. And then I met with another organization in town, a day. No, then I went to the chamber meeting, and I had to like kind of, because I've been really overzealous about the things that I've been working on for the last couple of months. And I kind of put some things out there that people were like, whoa, what's that? Who's this lady? And why does she think she can do XYZ? I know that's probably the way that I was perceived. But like, I'm trying to come into my own, right? Come into my next incarnation in this world, and going like, dude, I got like retirement to deal with right now. I haven't saved for my retirement. I need to do something with the knowledge that I have inside of me, so that I can maybe have a good retirement. It's not like I swear, people think that I've like lived my life in retirement. Dude, I have just been like working my butt off trying to figure out how to survive, just like the rest of us. And depending on if you had kids and children and, those kind of family obligations, or if you were solo, you come to a place where you're like, what have I done? what have I done with my life? And I still have retirement and I have hardly put anything away for that, but I've got to like figure it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather all my wisdom and I'm going to see if I can package it up in a way that might be useful to other people. And if it is, then we can all win together. That's kind of what I'm thinking about all of this. And I haven't had a easy time figuring out how to explain it. And I've been using Google Sites as my like memory bank. So I'm like making Google Sites every time I have an idea. I'd make a little Google site. The other day I like tied them all together. Anyways, I went to the chamber meeting. I didn't apologize for like I behaved badly because I haven't behaved badly. I've just been enthusiastic about what I'm working on, and I think that it can benefit, if not this community, another community or other communities. That's a good thing. That it's a really what they say. I have this hilarious way that I'm putting this, something about cash cow economic engine. It is a hilarious word, a hilarious phrase, and then it's just my menu of services. And and I've been thinking a lot about marketing in black and white too. So like all my marketing has been in black and white, and all my system stack has been free stuff. And I've tried out all sorts of things over the years, and it probably is going to be the free stuff and the rudimentary that's works the best in the end. I like things that look a little slick, but I'm doing the best I can with making this and it's kind of working. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, um, marketing in black and white. Oh, I went to this other organization and seriously, these two guys, two men, Johnny on the spot, had their like whiteboard out, took a couple of notes, had some bullet points. We were ready to roll. Then we were like sitting down and having the conversation. And I told him like about the losses and the wins for the week, like I'm telling you. And we are all just like, And I said, the thing about this is, I know I've realized coming out of this, it's like, what's the most important thing that I learned out of that? And it's like, we weren't ready to apply for the grant. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. They can say, Renee, you were just too pushy. We just weren't really sure. You changed something at the last second. I was super busy. All that stuff. I'm like, just hit the submit button. If it's good enough, say hit the submit button and we'll work it out afterwards. If we win it, great. And if we win it and we decide she's did something screwball, we can't accept the grant, then you just don't. You don't accept the grant. That's it. Simple. I think no harm, no foul, right? Maybe that's what I didn't understand. Maybe that is what I didn't understand. You shouldn't apply to a grant that you are 100% not going to accept if they decide they're going to send the money. I just don't think that that's true. Correct me if I'm wrong. It'll be good to know for future reference. Anyways, where are we at with this? The other organization. So I wouldn't have thought that I would want to work with this organization. And I think this is the funny thing about business. It's like you kind of you work with who comes forward and says, I think I see something of value in what you're offering, and we have the problem you're trying to solve. So let's work together. And I think that's pretty cool. Um, so all's well that ends well. I got from doing that AARP grant, I got this huge spreadsheet document, and it's on the horizon. It's horizontal, so it's like columns. Every question is a column, right? And I had to go scan way through that thing to go, where did our questions even start? The questions I was even putting together for this thing, because it had like, if you fill out this spreadsheet doc, you're kind of prepared to apply for any of the grants that come in. So by next year, I could literally probably apply for a bunch of grants. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, but it made me think about this other organization. Well, for one thing, I went, wait, so my AI literacy and digital readiness programs that I've been designing for the last few months and haven't figured out how to sell. I'm literally the cash cow for any organization, the economic engine, if you count grants being part of the economics of an organization, which I think it is, right? So instead of me trying to learn everything about everybody else's grant, I'm saying, let me show you how to create this foundational document so that if somebody walks in the door and says, hey, I just found a grant for the exact thing that you're looking for, and I would be happy to, I know you guys are busy. I'd be happy to fill it out if you share with me your foundational documents and I can just start working off of that. Because we recreate all this extra work every time we ask somebody to, we interview someone, right? Every time we interview someone, we have to it just takes a lot of time. And so, and it's essential. Like that interview process is really essential to get it right, to get it in terms of what people know about themselves and the heart of why they're trying to do what they're trying to do. So this second organization had a lot of great ideas, and I'm really enthusiastic about it. And they could actually get a lot of grants through them. And they could probably utilize me with AI literacy and digital readiness, even for their organization. But what we talked about is me helping them find somebody to train somebody in their community who could help them. So it's like all started to sort itself out. And that is what makes me the most excited about all this. Like, we know that we're going to we're going to create these documents, which is the spreadsheet. And I'm making this suggestion to everyone. It's like, if you've ever applied for a grant, hopefully they had their ducks in a row enough to give you, so even if you didn't apply, or didn't actually hit the submit button, we still have the spreadsheets. We can start working on that. And then we can also fill in all the other blanks that we have answers to, which is great. And different organizations are going to have different grants that look different for them, but a lot of them are going to look the same. And I'm just like, have a master document that basically answers most of the questions that any of these big organizations who dole out grant money have questions about. The truth is, and my AI said this to me, it was like, the thing that grant writers eventually realize is that you might as well apply for every grant that you can, that's pretty easy. That was actually a relatively easy grant, because it, that's the other bummer about it, is it was actually the organization who fell apart at the last second. They were like, there aren't enough questions in here to satisfy us. And I was like, dude, this organization, the AARP, knows. They are making this as easy as possible as a introductory grant for people to win. So it was as easy as it was ever going to be, probably. And this organization wanted more. Understandably, we'll work that out. But I'm like, dude, we could have possibly have gotten that grant money and then had some runway for lots of different projects. My project getting off the ground, but also for them to get some money coming in for their stuff. And it just is silliness. I don't want to end on a bummer note. What I realized is we can take that basic framework and have it be available for veterans organizations, museums, libraries, schools, chamber of commerce, probably health organizations. Because when we say write your story, we're also talking about like an application for a job application is writing your story. Filling out medical paperwork is a writing story. We use writing all day long through our life about our lives, and we can write up and have record or baseline stories that we can update as needed, but that we can just go back and be like, nothing has changed here. Copy, paste, click it in there, be done with it. Recreating the wheel all the time is such a waste of time. And that is my phone, and I need to do something about it because it's going to drive me crazy, and I don't know where it's at. I think it's behind me. It is. Haha, I can turn it off. Okay. All right. I don't know. It's exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited about continuing to work on this. Oh, today while I was in the woods, I went on this walk with somebody, friend, and we were just talking about the bigger picture. It's like, well, first I want to do this like community assessment. I think it's super important. Um, capacity, community capacity assessment to create a report on grant readiness within a community. Like, how many of the organizations, if somebody walks in their door, can say, oh my God, you wrote us a grant? Please let me press the button and go. Huge. To have a board director or a president of an organization have the trust of their board and their organization, be able to say, these are our concerns. But if you make the decision at the last second to say, go on that, hit the submit button, that's great. That's the ideal situation, that there's that kind of trust in an organization so that you don't miss grant opportunities like what was missed the other day. $5,000 to $15,000 just wasn't even applied for, and the application was ready. We were application ready. We were submission unsuccessful. So mission, we aborted the mission unsuccessful, right? And nobody died. It's okay. But it could have been a cool game changer. It's still going to be a cool game changer, because even afterwards I was like, there's got to be some things that can come out of this that are going to be good, and I can already see some stuff. So on this walk today, we were just talking about like the next part of the project, and it's kind of like the visioning is always staying on the next part of the project, even though you have to keep the other pieces moving along. So we talked about I don't know if I can jump over here and see what I was doing. Well, we talked about if there was a community newsletter and how we would get people to opt into what they wanted to learn about. And so we just talked about that, and I came home and I did it. Like, I knew my tools. I know Google Sites now enough to know what it can do, and I can just bang it out. This is practicing with something over time. So I just threw up a page on my Google site, and I called it example. And it gives an example of things that communities might benefit from or want to see in a community newsletter. And we just said, what parts of this would be the most valuable to you? I like that. What would be the most valuable parts of this newsletter to you? And so I did that, and I'm going to share the link with you because it's ready to roll. The form is ready, the page is ready, and when you know your tools really well, and I do know my tools pretty darn well, meaning I can work with them quickly, and I can teach people how to work with them fairly quickly. You have to be kind of like somewhat computer savvy, but not that much even. That's how nice It used to be, this stuff used to be so freaking hard. And now it's just so intuitive and it's satisfying, to tell you the truth. It's satisfying to see an idea and work it all the way through and just see it in the real world within half of a day. That there's some satisfaction in that. So I'm going to share the link with you, and I thank you so much for listening to the whole story. And I look forward to your insights coming in. Now, look, listen, if you're getting this and it doesn't say you're what am I? You're not from the town that the example is from. If you go to contact us, I think it's called contact us. If you go to that and you put in your information and it's just your zip code, it's very simple. It's just like your email address, your name. I don't even know if it calls for your name. I hope it does. I should look at it right now. But anyway, it's called Invitation to Adventure, Invitation to Quest for Treasure from at Renee for Remarkable You. And it's a Google form. And I mean, I'm Renee. I'm working on Remarkable You. It has various like things that I've started. And the big thing is just get on the email list because there are cool adventures for solo people and businesses. And it's all essentially the same thing. It's just under a different, we put a different, like, what are those things called? Like, uh, I don't even know. Like a mask. That's not, and we're not masking anything. So I don't want to use that word. It's just a different skin on it. But it's all essentially the same thing. It's AI, digital readiness, um, and yeah, AI literacy, digital uh, readiness. And I weave in my 25 plus years as a massage therapist and go, most of the time, I bring us in like, we're here in the room together. And we're okay. We can go back out into the world, shake it out, take a couple breaths in, breathe in together, finding your feet on the floor. In this case, letting yourself rest back into the chair, being together, being in the breath, being okay in this moment because we are. I need to remember to do this at the beginning of the session too. As I said in the beginning of the session, sometimes I just have to like get on camera and go. But that's why if I create the protocol, it's like, oh man, how was your week? How was your week? Write to me about it. Tell me about your week. I'm going to tell you about mine here in a second, but let's get together and breathe here for a second. Come into the room together. Come into the space together. Come into this moment together. Finding our breath, our bones, our feet, our being. This moment together. It's good. It's a good moment. Letting go of the chaos of the current events world. In this moment, I am safe. And I am grateful for that. And I am aware that there is war happening in the world. And there's fear around survival. It's in the air for all of us, whether there are bombs dropping on our heads or we're simply concerned about gas prices and food prices to pay for dropping bombs on other people's heads. And I can't do anything about it except bring my best version of myself and my best version of my work into the world to be of service to others. And I can offer this moment and the call to breath and the call to peace within myself. Help to ground that peace within myself. Bring that to earth. Letting the breath vibrate. And feeling my body open and expand into greater space, taking up greater space, more space for me and my good work to be in the world, and for you and your good work to be in the world, and for us and our good work to be in the world. Breath out. Breathing in and releasing this moment. Thank you for being with me here today, for taking the time to hear my story of the week. I'll see you next time. And until then, take good care and take care of each other. We'll be in touch soon.